Alright, this is a first in a series of videos going over the classwork from Monday. The first problem had you look at this and sketch a graph of this, so this is sort of review from last week. So what I'm going to do is list all the attributes, amplitude, period, axis of wave, and phase shift by looking at this equation. The amplitude is given by that number right there, so the amplitude is 5. The period, well, the coefficient on the x is pi over 3, so the period is 2 pi over 3, which is 2 pi times 3 over pi, which simplifies to 6. So the period of this is 6. The axis of wave is y equals 2. That's this number right here. And then there is no phase shift. Alright, so now I'm going to set up a scale and I'm going to graph this thing. It's pretty simple to do. I can see that I need to go as high as 7 on the y-axis, and I need to go as low as -3 on the y-axis. So this is -3. This is 7. The axis of wave is at y equals 2. So I'm just going to draw that in here. That's sort of the middle line of this graph. And that was not good there. Okay, and the scale that's appropriate for the x-axis is like 1/4 of the period. So I'm going to go by 1 1/2. Okay, there's no rule that says you have to go by 1. So this is 1.5, 3, 4.5, 6, -1.5, -3, -4.5, whatever, -6. Okay, that'll give us 2 periods. So I'll continue this. Alright, so sine. Sine starts in the middle. Well, the middle is right here. Okay, 1/4 of the period later, it's at the top. Then it's back at the middle. Then it's at the bottom. Then it's at the middle again. So here's one period of this graph. See how easy that is? Okay, now if I go the other direction, at the bottom, the middle, the top, the middle. Really easy as long as you set your scale up and you know you're familiar with like sine and cosine, where they start, where they finish. Okay, so that's number 1. Sketching that graph. At this point, that shouldn't take you very long. Alright, so let's look at number 2. It says write the equation of this graph. Okay, so I'm going to do sort of the same thing. I'm going to find the amplitude. I'm going to find the period. I'm going to find the axis of wave. Those 3 things are kind of fixed. Alright, I can see that the middle of this is at y equals 3. So that's the axis of wave. I can see that the amplitude then is 2. And if I look at this, the period, I start there to the top, is 2. Okay, now I have a decision. I can write this as a cosine equation or as a sine equation. Okay, it seems logical to write this as a sine equation because we're starting here, as a cosine equation, because we're starting here at the top. Okay, so I am going to write it as a cosine to start. All right, this is cosine. So it's 2 cosine of something x plus 3. All right, now the period is 2. I know that whatever number this is, the period is like 2 pi over b. So it's like, what does b have to be so that this thing is 2? Well, it would be pi. Okay, so this is the simplest equation I could probably write for this graph. Now, I could write a different equation. Okay, what if I thought that the graph started right here? In that case, there would be a phase shift. Okay, and there actually would be a phase shift of, well, this is 1/4 of the period later here. This would be at -0.5. So it would be a phase shift to the left of 0.5. So I could write it as a sine equation in that way. So we're starting in the middle and going up. I could be like 3 plus 2 times the sine. Well, it's pi, and then it's shifted to the left, so it would be x plus 0.5. Okay, that's another equation. Okay, If I thought the graph started right here, I could write a different equation. This would be like y equals 3 minus 2 times the sine of pi times x. In this case, we're shifting to the right a half, so it would be x minus 0.5. There are hella equations I could write for this, all starting at a different place. I could write a different cosine that starts right here. Okay, so that has a phase shift of 2. I could pick any top, bottom, or middle and write an equation. However, it's very clear that the one that has no phase shift is the easiest one to do, and I would say this is the easiest one to do.